Right now I live in JP, near the Hyde Square community. Well, I've lived around this area now for 3 years now, 3 years. But I'm from the area, I'm from Boston. I've been all over the place. And, I've worked in JP for a number of years, probably about going back 10 years. I appreciate right now how quiet it is compared to some of the places I've lived in before. And it's very, I have a small child, so it's very kid-friendly where I'm at right now, and it's diverse. I appreciate the fact that I can still see people that look like me, that live around me. It doesn't feel like I'm outside of the city, which sometimes some parts of this neighborhood can make you feel like. So I used to live up the street. Just some of the new developments that's coming up, the new housing that's coming up. I think one of the biggest changes I noticed was that people are definitely getting priced out. I had a situation, I had a caretaker that was living up the street, and she had to give me a 2 weeks notice because her rent was going up and she had to move out. So, that was kind of alarming, and that was, within the past couple months ago. I'd say about 3 or 4 months ago. So just being more aware that, people are really getting hit with the pricing out here, and that, a lot of people who are from here are unfortunately having to move out and live in outside of the city or even outside of the U.S. I have a fear of what I see it becoming, and then I have a hope of what I see it becoming. So my fear is that this is all going to be gone, and that the culture of what people expect when they come here will be gone. My hope is that people who have deep ties to the community are able to somehow reinvest or able to claim some level of ownership here to keep their cultural stake in the place. That's kind of like my ideal situation that I hope comes out. I see them working to bring community together and trying to inform people of what's going on, and really trying to raise a voice almost on a political level to make sure that they're represented. So that's what I see. I see a lot of people just trying to really, what I admire about here that I'm seeing trying to happen in some other places, that people are very much proud of their culture, and they very much put it in the forefront of their politics. And so, for me, I guess that's some of the work that I see being done, is just trying to educate people on what's going on. A lot of people don't understand the term gentrification. They don't understand the term development. They may not understand all the behind-the-scenes conversations that are going on, because they're just trying to, do their 9 to 5 and pay their bills and take care of their kids. So the folks who are able to do that, I see them really investing in making sure that they educate the others who may not be able to sit at the table and have those conversations with the stakeholders. My goal is to own a home. That's the ultimate goal. And so just trying to get as much information as possible, navigate through as many channels as possible to see what that would look like. I've thought about buying property here. And to be honest, the way the city's operating, it feels like if you could buy property anywhere in the city, it's great. But yeah, I would love to invest in this community. But like I said, my biggest goal is to see people who are really who have long historical ties here really be able to have an opportunity to contribute and have some stake of ownership. And that may be a physical ownership, that may be more of a cultural ownership, but that's what I'm hoping happens, because a lot of history here, a lot of stories, but it's a lot of culture. People come here for a specific reason, and I think if you start running people out who provide that that aspect, then it becomes a boring place. It doesn't become, there's no reason to be here. You do have housing, you do have what have you, but I think what makes it special is the sort of cultural piece. The businesses that are very specific, the food, the certain type of food that's here, and if that's gone, then it just becomes, like a neighborhood downtown, which is to me kind of, corporate and bland. Affordability is being realistic about the wages that are here, and making sure that people who own certain wages can afford the housing that's here. I think we have a weird problem where the rent is continuing to go up. We have no rent control, but wages are not going up. That's not being realistic to the type of income that people make in the community. So affordability is meaning, the average everyday person that does not work downtown, does not work in the high-end medical field. Not to knock those industries, but you know, the everyday person working a 9 to 5. You know, so that to me is affordability, and being able to do that with a family. That's another thing. We don't really focus on the family. A lot of housing here is for the new professionals that are coming in, and of course they're going to need housing. But you know, there's families that have been here looking for housing for a very long time, and instead of trying to provide that, they're sort of pricing them out and making them into condos, so that 3 or 4 people can be roommates and live in the same house. So I think that's an issue. So affordability is that, being able to have a family here and being able to live here comfortably, and not feel like you're constantly being pressured to pay rent.